everyone, my name is Joyce. So today I would like to share a topic with all of you guys, which is talking about the stress and its coping strategies.
In fact, stress is something inevitable in our life. As we know, there was a serious outbreak happening in Wuhan in 2020. After that, the new coronavirus has spread rapidly in many parts of the world. It lately was declared as a pandemic by the WHO. The outbreak of the COVID-19 did bring a lot of stress to people. For example, there were some adjustments like school suspension, the postponement of the Hong Kong DSE examination for taking against the COVID-19. However, students actually may feel very stressful as they have to make schedules again to do revision, and they may feel frustrated about the uncertain element during the pandemic period. Apart from the COVID-19, there actually are also many different types of stresses in our life. So let's briefly talk about the definition of stress and stresses to see how stress come from and what types of stresses exist in our life. Actually, stress can be defined as an individual reaction or response to a challenging or threatening event or environmental stimulus, which is also known as stresses. Stresses could be further divided into 4 types, which are major life events, catastrophes, daily hustle, and the conflict. Major life events could be positive as well as negative changes. For example, having a marriage with someone, having a newborn baby in your family, achieving some outstanding performance, or preparing to go to a new school. Catastrophes could be some natural disasters and wars. These are regarded as some unexpected traumatic events by many people, for example, hurricanes, earthquakes. Daily hustle refers to the routine or daily frustration or annoyance, for example, getting stuck in traffic or having some difficulty learning at school. Conflicts means people have to make a choice between 2 or more needs, desires, or demands. For example, a person who may receive an offer from the Chinese University of Hong Kong and the University of Hong Kong. He has to make a decision to choose which university to attend. So, this scenario actually also does create stress to people. So, now it's a good question to know or investigate what people do when they face stress in their life. In fact, there are many stress coping strategies, but today I'm going to specifically talk about the problem-focused coping strategy and emotion-focused coping strategy. Problem-focused coping strategy can be defined as a coping method that people aim to control or order the environments that are causing stress. In this strategy, people try to focus on the problem and do something constructive about the situation to reduce its perceived threat. While emotion-focused coping strategy can be defined as a coping method that people aim to control the internal emotional response to a stresses. In this strategy, people try to eliminate the undesirable emotions triggered by the stresses. Let's take an example. There is an examination in the upcoming days, which makes you feel stresses and anxious. At this moment, you may try to find a strategy to cope with this pressure. If you adopt a problem-focused coping strategy, you may like to tackle the stresses directly, like put all your energy to focus on studying and preparing for the examination. It works by taking action to resolve the underlying causes. However, if you choose to adopt an emotion-focused coping strategy, you may like to eliminate the undesirable emotion by making complaint, but not trying to do any revision. You may simply ignore the stress or hope for a miracle such as postponement or cancellation of the exam, without doing any constructive thing to deal with the reality. It seems like the strategy of emotion-focused coping may not be helpful to solve the real problem because it deals with the emotion first, but not the reality first. People may also see it as a kind of escape from reality. However, there is a Chinese saying called 逃避雖可恥但有用。For example, when someone passes away, problem-focused strategy may not be very helpful for this situation. Dealing with the feelings of loss requires emotion-focused coping strategy. Problem-focused coping strategy would like to control or order the environments that causing stress. However, the fact is not all situations are controllable. There is something really out of our control in reality. At this moment, an emotion-focused coping strategy is needed. People who experience someone close to pass away may need to have a time to embrace his or her emotion. He or she may like to do something to regulate the emotion first. This strategy does help this person to have a time to take a breath and embrace his or her current emotion.
Therefore, people actually tend to adopt a combination of both coping strategies, which trying to deal with the reality as well as taking care of their emotion at the same time. And this is the end of my sharing. And finally, I hope you find this video useful and enjoyable. Thank you for listening and reading. Thank you again.